社會上嚟講，好多人做事都係想希望得到一啲嘅回應，一啲嘅回報。
And so sometimes a person may take a Bhagavatam and read a few passages, and they may come across this saying, "Oh, I get some benediction if I read this." So they may actually read the whole chapter to find out what it is all about.
咁有時啲人或者係手上嗰度係接咗本《博伽雅堂》啦，咁啊讀咗幾個詩節，跟住讀到嚟講呢度有咁嘅祝福喺度，跟住佢就覺得好好啊，好有趣，咁跟住佢係可能係繼續咁讀落去。
So here the benediction is about gaining the highest perfection of life.
咁呢度講到你嗰個祝福嚟講，達到就係講到達到呢個最高嘅一個目標係純粹嘅愛慕。
And what is that? Going back to home, back to Godhead.
咁呢個目標係咩咧？就係回歸守神，回到神嘅身邊。
But sometimes people who are very fruitive, when they read this, they're like, I don't want to go back. I want to make money.
咁但係當啲人讀到呢度嚟講，有啲人嚟講，因為充滿一個叫做係月報主義嘅人嚟講咧，我唔想翻去我度，我淨係想喺度嚟講係賺多啲錢，或做多啲嘢，我得到多啲嘢。
They say, I want to have good family, I want to have good home. They see things as perfection materially.
咁佢哋只要我一個好嘅家庭喺度，我一間好嘅屋喺度啊，咁佢哋係自喺一個物質嘅角度嚟講係睇嘢。
So therefore, the Bhagavatam is not for anyone. It's actually for those who... Actually, the Bhagavatam is for Paramahansas, really very advanced devotees. But because of Srila Prabhupada, we have access through him. Yeah.
咁其實博伽雅堂嚟講咧，佢唔係俾一般人可以睇得明嘅，而係俾一啲至尊天國好純粹嘅奉獻者喺度。但係Prabhupada仁慈嗰度咧，我哋透過Prabhupada嚟講，我哋可以從中可以進入博伽雅堂呢個課題，睇到入邊嘅嘢。
So interestingly here, the Bhagavatam actually talks about the Supreme Lord as well as his devotees.
咁好有趣嚟講，博伽雅堂咧係講至尊主啦，同埋講有關至尊主嘅奉獻者。
So, and there are people who may say, I only want to read about the pastimes of Krishna, not about his devotees.
咁有啲人就會講到咧，我就係想睇到有關 Krishna 嘅逍遙時光咧，唔係話關於佢奉獻者嘅嘅事蹟。
Just like when we ask devotees, have you read about Srila Prabhupada's life, Lilamrita? Very few devotees will say yes.
咁譬如好似我哋問到啲奉獻者嚟講，有冇睇Prabhupada嘅逍遙時光度啊？咁好少奉獻者嚟講答嚟講話有睇過。
So therefore, again we see there's a lack of interest in that which is also part and parcel of Krishna.
咁所以我睇到嚟講啲人係缺乏呢方面興趣咁，但係其實睇下呢啲其實都係 Krishna 嘅不可分割嘅一部分嚟嘅。
Krishnanushīlanam. So it is part of Krishna. The devotees are part. Everything like the karatals, whatever we use, we can remember Krishna. So when we are with devotees, when we talk to devotees, we should also remember Prabhupada and Krishna.
咁所以其實有關 Krishna 嘅嘢咧，都係 Krishna 不可分割部分。好似我哋個 cartel 啊，或者我哋係同奉獻者講都有關Krishna 故事，或者講到Prabhupada嚟講咧，都係有關 Krishna 嘅不可分割嘅部分。
There's so many devotees, even maybe they are not in the Bhagavatam, but there's so many devotees who have done so many wonderful service.
咁譬如好多嘅奉獻者，即使或者可能博伽雅堂冇提到嗰度啦，但係佢哋都做過好多好奇妙嘅一個嘅活動。
And they may have, some of them may even have left their bodies. So we can talk about them also.
咁就甚至乎有啲嚟講仍然在世嘅，佢哋係做嗰度好奇妙嘅活動嗰度咧，咁我哋都可以係講有關於佢哋嘅嘢。
So here in this particular verse, the emphasis is knowing about the associates of Krishna. It's very auspicious.
咁喺呢個詩節提到嚟講，再強調一點嚟講，就認識或知道講 Krishna 嘅奉獻者嚟講咧，係十分之吉祥。
Not just simply knowing as a knowledge, but knowing through devotion. Devotionally, we should know about devotees also.
唔單止係譬如係當一種嘅認識啊，知道奉獻者嘅事喺度咧，亦都係以通過同佢哋身上通過個學識，定係呢個奉獻服務嘅嘢。
And this is very important because in the Bhagavatam it says that Bhaktim upayati siddhim. By knowing this, you get devotion, perfection.
因為呢一點係好重要喺度。喺博伽雅談呢個先至講就係透過認識奉獻者，從中咧可以係學識嘅奉愛服務，然後跟住係達到完美。
And that's why it's important to read Prabhupada's books.
所以閱讀聖保祿書籍係幾咁之重要。
Then we can understand all these wonderful blessings, benedictions by the author or by the speaker of the Bhagavatam.
從呢度咧，我哋可以得到個作者啦，或者個講者啦，係賜予我哋一啲嘅祝福嘅。
Srila Prabhupada mentions how that one time when Lord Shiva was with his wife Parvati, she was asking, what is the best form of worship? Yeah.
咁有Prabhupada講到咧，有一次咧，咁Lord Shiva 嘅太太咧就問Lord Shiva，佢話究竟最好嘅崇拜嚟講係乜嘢
？So there are many recommendations in the Vedas. If you see, they say worship this, worship that, worship so many things.
咁喺《維特經》入邊嚟講咧，好多嘅建議喺度啦。咁崇拜呢一個啊，崇拜呢一位啊，崇拜嗰位，好多呢啲咁嘅建議。
So Lord Shiva then explained to her, and this is a famous verse. Many of you know this. Aradhanam sarvesham Vishnu aradhanam param tasmat parataram devi tadyanam samarcharam.
咁呢個好有名嘅詩詞嘅，大家都聽過。
The translation is, he says, there may be so many worship that may be recommended, but the best worship is worshipping Lord Vishnu. But better than worshipping Lord Vishnu is worshipping that which is connected to Lord Vishnu, his paraphernalia, especially his devotees.
咁呢個師姐解釋嚟講，就係話所有咁多嘅崇拜當中嚟講咧，崇拜係 Vishnu 係最高喺度，但係比崇拜 Vishnu 更好嚟講咧，就係崇拜有關於佢嘅嘢或者佢嘅附屬物喺度嘅意思就係崇拜佢嘅奉獻者。
So Aradhanam Param means of all the worship, the best worship is Vishnu Aradhanam. That means the best worship is Vishnu Aradhanam.
咁喺呢個先頭兩句就係講話，喺所有嘅崇拜當中嚟講咧，崇拜 Vishnu 嚟講係最好。
But then he says better than that is Tadyanam Aradhanam Samarcharam, which means better than worshipping Vishnu is his devotees.
咁但係跟住嗰兩句嚟講就係話比崇拜 Vishnu 更加好嚟講就係崇拜佢嘅奉獻者。
Yeah, so this is very easy method. Worship the devotees easier. You know them, you can go and worship. But when you come to Gaur-Nitāya, you worship, they may not say anything. They may just look at you.
咁比較呢個比較係容易係做到喺度。譬如你會見到神像，咁我哋係崇拜神像嚟講，咁神像可能未必俾到你咩嘅反應喺度，或者淨係望一望你喺度。咁但係奉獻者嚟講又唔同。當我哋崇奉獻者馬上奉獻者嚟講，我係俾呢個反應嘅，你可以感受得到。
Actually, it's easy to worship devotees. You please them, you know immediately they are happy with you, or you immediately know they don't like you, and so many things. So
所以當你係服務奉獻者、崇拜奉獻者嚟講，係馬上會得到個回應喺度，或者佢感覺到係滿意，或者佢係唔係咁中意喺度嚟講，馬上可以知道。
Because the devotees are representatives of the Supreme Lord.
因為奉獻者嚟講係至尊主嗰個代表。
They are always preaching on behalf of the Supreme Lord.
佢係響至尊主嘅個為咗尊主個份上嚟講咧，佢係去再傳教。
So therefore, Tadyanam Samarchanam means that worship is better. Worshipping those who are connected to Krishna directly.
咁佢講話同至尊主有聯繫嘅，直接聯繫嚟講咧，崇拜呢啲嘢嚟講係最好。
Therefore, here in the first verse, on the first line, it is said, Bhagavat Priyanam. That means they are very dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
咁喺第一句嗰度嚟講咧，提到個字嚟講咧，Bhagavat Priyanam 就佢哋係至尊主嚟講係好中意佢哋嘅。
That means these Pandavas, particularly we know Arjuna, so dear to Krishna.
咁好似提到係潘達亞兄弟啦，咁特別係阿 Arjuna 咧 ，Krishna 係十分之中意佢嘅。
Yeah. So, although they fought with their own cousin brothers, still we understand that this was all sanctioned and organized by the Supreme Personality of God here.
即使咧佢哋係堂兄弟之間嘅一個打鬥嘅鬥爭都好，或者係戰鬥都好喺度啦。咁其實我哋知道背後嚟講咧，都係至尊主一個允許底下先會發生。
Now, if there was no Pandavas in the Kurukshetra battle, then we won't be reading about the Kurukshetra battle. Nobody will be interested in the Kurukshetra battle.
咁如果喺父子之嘢當中嚟講係冇咗係潘達嘅兄弟嘅參與嚟講咧，咁變咗啲人嚟講對呢個父子之嘢嚟講係變咗唔會感到有興趣。
But of course, there are many people who like these battles, any battle they like. First World War, Second World, they go and read so many books about fighting.
咁當然有啲人好中意係打鬥啊、戰爭嗰度嘅，咁好似父子之嘢，或者有啲人中意第一次世界大戰啊、第二次世界大戰啊，啲人好中意睇啲關於戰爭嘅書籍。
No, but there's no benefit in knowing such battles.
但係你睇嗰啲咁嘅書籍嚟講咧，係乜嘢都得唔到，咩益處都冇。
Prabhu says that cats and dogs are fighting in the streets. Why we are interested in that?
咁聖爸爸有時舉個比喻喺度，咁當街你見到好多啲貓啊狗喺度咁打緊喺度啊，咁我哋點會有感到興趣咧對呢啲嘢？
Yeah, but we are interested in the battle of Kurukshetra because Krishna was there, Arjuna and the Pandavas there, and Bhagavad Gita was spoken.
咁泡爸講話點解我哋係對父兒之有興趣咧？因為當中嚟講有 Krishna 啦，有 Krishna 有奉獻者潘達兄弟咧，而當中嚟講亦有提及到呢個講述呢個薄伽梵歌。
So in the Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, anyone who takes the trouble to preach about him becomes very dear to me.
咁 Krishna 薄伽梵歌都提到一個人如果係即使經歷好多個困難嚟講，碰到困難仍然係為佢嚟向啲人講解呢方面嘅知識嚟講咧，呢人我係好中意佢。
This is in the last chapter, 18th chapter.
咁呢個係第18章入邊嘅詩節。
In the verses 69, 70, like that, where Krishna says, anyone who preaches Bhagavad Gita is most dear to me.
咁響應該係69第18章第69至70個詩節咧。咁 Krishna 任何人嚟講，無論經歷咩困難都講述係薄伽梵歌嚟講咧，我係好中意呢個。
So more dear to me than anyone else.
咁呢個人嚟講咧，係比其他人我更加中意佢多過其他人嘅。
So from that particular, in fact, from the Bhagavad Gita and particularly towards them, we understand that we cannot really see Krishna, but when we preach, when we teach people about Krishna, then we become recognized by Krishna. Then Krishna is seeing us.
咁喺薄伽梵歌，當我哋譬如薄伽梵歌咁樣睇到喺度啦，譬如當我哋未必可以直接可以見到 Krishna 喺度，咁但係我哋透過係向人哋講述薄伽梵歌向人傳道嗰時嚟講咧，我哋咁樣做嚟講 ，Krishna 會係睇到，同埋會認到咁樣嚟講，憑咁樣嚟講係認識到我哋。
So when you come to the temple and you serve another devotee, or anywhere you invite a devotee to your home and serve them, Krishna is saying, "Oh, you want to serve my devotee? You are special."
咁好似譬如當有人嚟到我哋廟宇嗰度啦，咁我有啲奉獻者嚟到廟宇，跟住我哋係服務呢啲奉獻者，又或者我哋邀請啲奉獻者到我哋屋企嚟講，我服務呢啲奉獻者咧，Krishna 會睇到啊 ，Krishna 你係好好，你服務我嘅奉獻者。
Our nature is to serve.
我哋嘅本性嚟講就係去服務。
Jivera Swarupai Krishna Nityadas, we are always eternally servants of Krishna.
我哋係 Krishna 嘅永恆僕人。
Our best quality is service.
我哋最好嘅品質嚟講就係去服務。
And therefore we should cultivate service attitude by serving the devotees nicely.
所以我哋透過好好咁奉獻者嚟講啦，培養我哋呢啲講服務嘅一個本性。
There's so many devotees, so pick a few devotees you want to serve and serve them.
咁好多奉獻者啦，咁當中或者你可以揀某啲奉獻者，你係喜歡就去服務去服侍佢噶啦。
You cannot say you don't like any devotee, then something wrong with you.
咁你唔可以講話我任何奉獻者我都唔中意。如果咁你咧，就係你有問題，你有問題。
So you have to learn to take that position of a servant. This is my natural position. So I must learn how to serve. I must serve devotees.
所以我哋要係學識呢樣嘢喺度啦，咁係因為呢個係我哋本身嘅本性喺度，我哋學識係點樣去服務喺度，點樣就去服務奉獻者。
Devotees are dear to Krishna, so if I serve them, then I become very dear to Krishna also.
因為奉獻者哋 Krishna 係好錫啲奉獻者，好中意奉獻者。咁如果我哋服務啲奉獻者嚟講咧 ，Krishna 都會好開心，好中意我哋。
And if you read many of the letters to Prabhupada by his disciples, whenever they say they are happy serving other God brothers or gods, Srila Prabhupada is very happy. He says, that is very wonderful. You have now learned the secret.
咁譬如你睇翻啲喺啲門徒啊寫信俾泡泡嘅書信入邊咧，好多時佢哋啲門徒書信中提到嚟講，我好開心喺度啊，我服務啲神兄弟喺度。咁當泡泡睇到嗰陣時嚟講，泡泡就感覺到就好開心喺度，就要講就係話，你真係學識呢個奉獻服務一個秘訣喺度嚟講啊，我好開心嚟講，你係做到咁樣喺度。
And when you start serving very nicely, you actually develop true love and affection for one another. It's true, not material love.
咁當我哋係用心走去服務其他奉獻者嚟講，我哋培養呢個真正嘅愛之間嘅一個奉愛喺度，同奉獻者嚟講，唔係啲物質方面嘅愛。
So we cultivate knowledge and then we transform our hearts and then we'll adjust according to different devotees, how to serve them.
我哋透過我哋服務嚟講啦，培育到呢方面嘅知識，你跟住走去服務喺度。而當中嚟當我哋係同唔同嘅奉獻者嚟講咧，我哋係知道係用咩方法做一個調整係服務佢哋。
Sometimes you may serve one devotee and that devotee may not reciprocate in the same way.
咁有時或者我哋係服務某一個奉獻者，或者佢唔係用同一個心態或者同一態嚟講係有個回報俾我哋。
But then we shouldn't worry about it. We should appreciate and say, I have an opportunity to serve this devotee. And although that devotee may not like me, but Krishna likes that devotee. So when I serve that devotee, Krishna will like me.
咁我哋應該唔好諗咁多喺度嚟講，反而諗就係話係一個 Krishna 奉獻者啦 ，Krishna 好中意喺度嘅。咁如果我服務佢嚟講咧 ，Krishna 嚟講會咁樣嚟講會係中意我嘅。
Just like if you are working in any company, maybe when you join the company, the director or the managers, they don't notice you so much.
咁就好似譬如我哋係入咗間公司個入職喺度啦，咁或者個最高嘅領導啊，即係總裁嚟講，未必認識到係我哋。
But if you work very hard and if you're always doing everything nicely, both the managers and the directors will say, who's that? They're doing very nice job.
咁如果你係做得好好喺度嘅，咁嗰個經理又好或者個總裁嚟講個主管，佢會留意到，呢個邊一位嚟講佢做得好好喎。
They're making our business more successful.
佢令到我哋嘅生意係更上一層樓，做得更好喎。
So similarly, Krishna also will see, they're making nice service to my devotees. I like them.
咁佢對我奉獻者好好喺度喎，我好中意啊咁樣。
So here you can see ya shraddha yaitat bhagavat priyanam. So what does it mean? The Pandavas were so wonderful. They became so dear to Krishna. So therefore, it's better to hear about Pandavas because they are connected to Krishna.
咁從呢個詩節講到就話潘雅兄弟嚟講啦，佢哋係對 Krishna 好錫佢哋喺度，所以我哋係聆聽有關佢嘅嘢嚟講咧，亦都好吉祥嘅 Krishna 亦都好中意喺度。
So we know we can't access directly Krishna, just like the spiritual masters. Shakshat daridvena samastra shastre. They are as good as the Lord.
因為我哋唔可以直接嚟講係進見或者見佢接近 Krishna 喺度，所以我哋透過靈性導師啦。咁靈性導師嚟講就係同 Krishna 係一樣咁樣。
Then sometimes people will say, why we have to accept the spiritual master as good as God?
咁有時候都係會咁嘅問啦，點解我要接受個靈性導師就好似等同係接受佢同至尊主一樣啊
？But then we sing also, Kintu Prabhu ya priya eva tasya. That means they are very dear to Krishna. The spiritual masters are dear to Krishna.
咁另一個土文跟住落去就係講，因為我哋個靈性導師嚟講 ，Krishna 係最痛愛。
Not that you worship him as Krishna or good as Krishna. No, because he is dear to Krishna.
咁唔係話啊，我崇拜佢嚟講，因為佢就係好似 Krishna 嘅，唔係，因為 Krishna 係最痛愛佢，係最錫佢喺度嘅，所以我哋係崇拜佢。
Not that he thinks he's Krishna also. No. He doesn't think, the spiritual master doesn't think, now I am Krishna. No. Kintu Prabhuya Priyaiva Tasya. He is as good as Krishna. He is very dear to Krishna.
咁唔係嘅靈性導師都唔會諗嚟講，佢自己本身就好似同 Krishna 喺度，而係因為佢係Krishna 好錫佢喺度啦，所以我哋係崇拜你就等同佢同 Krishna 係差唔多係咁嘅咁樣嘅待遇。
So therefore, you should learn how to become dear to Krishna by acting in such a way that Krishna can understand that you are very dear to this devotee, and so you become dear to me.
所以我哋應該以咁嘅形式嚟講啦，係好咁嘅奉獻者喺度，咁變咗 Krishna 嚟講，因為好錫個奉獻者，從咁樣嚟講，我哋奉獻者 Krishna 都好中意我哋。
Yeah, so we become dear to Krishna. That is our perfection. And how do we do that? By preaching about Krishna to whomever we meet. We become dear to Krishna.
咁當我哋係咁樣做嚟講，就能夠達到生命嘅完美咧。點樣做到嚟講咧？就係當我哋碰到任何人，每一個人嚟講咧，我哋都係講述 Krishna 講 Krishna 嘅嘢俾你哋聽到。
Prati gari gari giya, karaya bhiksha, balo Krishna, bhajo Krishna, Kaura Krishna, Shiksha. So Mahaprabhu told Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur, go and preach about the Supreme Lord. Tell them to chant about Krishna, sing about Krishna, talk about Krishna. 呢個就係 Logic 真係Mahaprabhu嚟講，就同 Haridas 同啲真啲 Prabhu 講到，你去出去嚟講啦，就係教導啲人嚟講呢方面嘅知識，叫啲人唱 Hare Krishna。 So there's nothing for us to manufacture, nothing to create. All we have to do is repeat what Prabhupada has given us, or from the Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. We can repeat the teachings of Krishna to people we meet.
咁唔係我哋自己係創造一啲嘢出嚟，又話生安白做一啲嘢出嚟，我只要係做泡泡同我哋講嘅嘢話，同博根亞塔用經典學到嘅嘢，我哋係將啲嘢講翻出去。
So I think we will end here because we have a class later. Any comments, corrections, anything, reflection, you can tell me.
咁因為我哋陣間會有講課，咁我喺呢度停落嚟啦。咁大家有啲咩評論，或者有啲咩糾正嘅嚟講，或者有啲乜嘢嘅反思嚟講，都可以係提出。
Okay, so that's the end of chapter 15.
咁呢度係啱，呢一次係呢一章係講呢個詩節講埋之後就係完咗第15章啦。
Okay, yes.
咁當我哋崇拜靈性導師嚟講，係咪以一個係好尊敬、好崇敬嘅心態崇拜靈性導師，或者可以係抱住另一啲嘅個心態或者個態度咧
？When you serve the spiritual master, the disciple must always serve in the mood, awe and reverence in the beginning.
咁當喺開初階段嚟講咧，個門徒嚟講咧，應該係抱住係好尊敬崇拜嘅一個心態嚟講，係侍奉嘅靈性導師。
There's a saying that familiarity breeds contempt.
咁因為有句咁講話咧，太過熟嗰陣時嚟講，就好容易嚟講係忽視咗一啲嘅應有嘅態度。
And so therefore the disciple must learn and understand that he's always a menial servant to the spiritual master.
所以個門徒嚟講，知道嚟講，佢係靈性導師一個謙卑嘅個僕人嚟嘅。
And then the spiritual master can guide that disciple by pointing out mistakes and errors. Otherwise, if they don't listen, then they cannot make advancement.
咁樣情況之下嚟講，先可以指出呢個門徒嘅錯處啦，令到佢自己係得以係改正上到。如果唔係咁樣嚟講咧，冇辦法幫到佢靈性嘅進步。
Of course, after many years of service with the spiritual master, the relationship changes a little bit.
咁經過多年嘅一個侍奉靈性導師嚟講，咁門徒同靈性導師嘅關係咧，可能係有些少嘅一個係改變咗。
The mood could be a little bit more friendly.
咁個心態可能已經係比較係親近啲，好似朋友咁。
But it's always in awe, and reverence is always behind that, even though there may be a friendly disposition.
咁當然啦，佢嗰個變成好似係好朋友個交往咁樣，但係背後嚟講個底線一定要係抱住係尊敬個心態。
And if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, sometimes you can see how some of his associates get angry with him and so on. But they are always loving and respectful.
咁當然啦，到我哋譬如讀係永人的楚太賢經裏面，亦見到係住喺產業嚟嘅奉獻之中，有時喺奉獻之或者會係嬲啊住喺產業喺度啦。咁但係當中背後嚟講啊，佢哋係充滿個愛心嘅交流喺度。
The spiritual master is always a spiritual master.
靈性導師永遠都係靈性導師。
No matter how close you are, there's a line there.
無論點親密都好喺度咧，一條線一定係畫喺度，
You cannot cross that line.
唔可以係超越嗰條線。
Okay.
Yeah.
夠啦。
夠啦。
Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
You can